Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Time for another cryptocurrency video. I just wanted to make this video. This is going to be my last video about the whole Bitconnect thing. It's draining. I'm sick of talking about it with people and debating and arguing, and I just don't have the time for it. I'm trying to get my work done, and it's been a distraction. So this is the last thing I got to say about it. Now, it is still my belief that the government, the U.S. government specifically, was involved in the takedown of Bitconnect. Um, yeah, what's my evidence for this? I have found further evidence that this was the case. Um, I just found this video today from Craig Grant. I heard about it, but I never actually saw it. Is something about some people's uh, the new people who have joined BitConnect within the last 2 months will have their money refunded in some way. I don't know how that's going to happen, but anyway. So let's take a look at this video from Craig Grant, and I'll come back in a minute to make more comment.
Comment from Germanics. This is a direct copy-paste from my sponsor, the national promoter from inside our Bitconnect USA Telegram chat. This is a comment on one of my videos, and I've pinned it. So let's read. I wanted to address the events of yesterday by starting with saying, this caught me by surprise, just like everybody else. When Bitconnect first addressed the legal situation, there was no mention of the lending or exchange being closed. Since then, I've seen things from different perspectives and would like to share some thoughts, along with an explanation. Bitconnect started their platform in the Asian market. Most of the members there had a ground floor opportunity to buy and make their first loans at an incredibly low cost. As the community grew and users joined from other markets, the value of Bitconnect grew exponentially. The growth of Bitcoin over this time was also directly attributed to the rise of Bitconnect, as all new members used Bitcoin to enter the platform. The community grew and things were great. Then outside interference started to create obstacles. There have been multiple DDoS attacks, a Chinese mining takeover attempt, and bad publicity along the way. All right, so let me pause and say that Chinese mining takeover, I think, is Bitcoin Cash, right? Because whenever you hear Chinese mining takeover, right away, what pops into my head? You know, when I hear stories, many stories that I've heard about these Chinese mining, quote unquote, takeover, you know, Bitcoin Cash, right? So the community grew. There have been multiple, yes, not to mention the websites has been a victim of numerous hacking attempts as well. The whole industry, this is the line I like the most. The whole industry relies on confidence, man. Confidence. Unregulated only relies on confidence. And when that diminishes, it's hard for an emerging venture to keep momentum. The cease and desist letters came at a very bad time, with them coinciding with the release of the Bitconnect ICO and latest website attack. The US government has the authority to shut down any website or service that operates in their jurisdiction, and some of the servers are located inside the country. Once the news of this broke, we saw an unusual amount of negativity in the community. Then the website went down from DDoS attack and created more panic. By the time decision was made to exempt the US residents from the ICO, things started to fall apart. The government increased their intimidation. Well, I guess, you know, the second cease and desist. Is that's I guess that refers to, because that's all that could refer to. The community turned against the platform, yes, and the website was compromised. These things all made it impossible to continue down the same path. Change.
Okay, let's stop there. Okay, so as the message says, this is directly from international promoters from Bitconnect, that the U.S. government has the right to shut down any website that operates within its jurisdiction, and some of the servers are located in that country. Government increased intimidation. People lost confidence. I mean, it's a complete. I mean, it's a complete psyop operation. And if you think that the U.S. government, CIA, whatever, does not carry out psyops and false flags within the crypto space, then you're naive. This is how they take things out. As further evidence, these were some comments in another video I was watching from I Am English. My thoughts on the lending space. Uh, this particular comment caught my attention by this guy, Obicano. Let me make this bigger. He says these lending platforms know that they're operating illegally, and they know they'll be shut down within a year. But the gains within those 8 months for them is enormous. Once they are shut down, they will go back to the lab and create another white paper. The real test of a lending platform is not whether or not they are licensed to do what they do. Once it hits the U.S. and it is found out not to be licensed, regulators will bring in litigation. State regulators know about every one of these lending platforms, but they are delaying action as if they are in on it. They could issue cease and desist on all of them if they wanted to. Instead, they let millions of people get swept up in them. Why? To prove a point. To ensure as many people get their lessons learned as possible. Now, what lesson might that be? How dare you seek to be financially independent? How dare you seek to be independent from us? They love these stories. These stories of what, this guy who lost $30,000, this guy who lost his life savings, this thing. People, they love this stuff. They want us dependent upon them. They want us on welfare. They want us on social insecurity. They want us on food stamps. That's what they want. So these people are destroyed, and what will happen? Big Daddy government will come in, will come to the rescue. Okay, no problem. We'll give you some welfare. We'll give you some food stamps. And they come out as the heroes. But it was, in fact, the government that made these things happen. I mean, Bitconnect as a whole was besieged. It was under attack from all sides. And it's destabilized the entire thing. Psychological operation. People lost confidence in it. And what happened last week was just the coup de grace. Because as far as I recall, everything that the company was doing, basically it was perfect up until last week. So I don't have any feeling that this was like, the plan on their part. They were going to screw everybody, that they were going to take everybody's money from the beginning. I don't get that impression. I got the impression that they were nice people, that they were sincere. The customer service was great. Everything was fine. The point that this guy is making, Obicano, is basically that the government will not allow these things to operate. These platforms cannot be allowed to exist. They cannot be allowed to help people get financially free. And they will just set up and they will make their money within, whatever, 8, 10 months, a year. and the government allows them to operate for that time, and then they come in and they shut them down, and they wipe out whatever people are involved in the platform, and they do it on purpose to teach them a lesson. Go back to work, um, go back to your slave job, keep paying taxes, you know, work for work to pay off your mortgage the old-fashioned way. Because if you notice in the message there were DDoS attacks, several DDoS attacks mentioned. As I mentioned the other day, the vast majority of the DDoS attacks, according to this map, the vast majority of them originate from the United States. There's 400, according to the map, there's 483 DDoS attacks coming from the United States as we speak. So, I mean, to me, the point is already made. And I saw this. I saw this stuff today. Somebody stuck this on my page. This potential Bitconnect class action lawsuit. Basically, yeah. Let's read some of this. Following months of bad press and increased scrutiny from securities regulators, cryptocurrency lending and exchange platform Bitconnect abruptly shut down its operations on the morning of January 17th, 2018. Silver Miller, the leading cryptocurrency investor law firm in the country, with actions pending against Coinbase, Kraken, Cryptsy exchanges, as well as action lawsuits against initial coin offering ICO promoters Tezos and Monkey Capital, is already investigating Bitconnect closure on behalf of investors amid their concerns of a potential Ponzi scheme and apparent securities law violations. I'm just going to stop there. See, nothing is going to come of this. I've seen these these class action lawsuits before. If anything, these things take years. So people who like quote unquote lost their money in Bitconnect will not see anything from this anytime soon. If they think they're going to get their money back like next week, Bitconnect's going to write them a check. It's not going to happen. The only people who stand to make any money from this stuff are the lawyers. Yeah, I just wanted to iterate. I just wanted to reiterate. See, all this stuff that we argue about in the crypto space on YouTube, all this stuff about whether or not these things are Ponzi's or not, these lending platforms are Ponzi's, whether or not the intention of the people behind them is to scam and run away with everybody's money, whether there's a bot, whether they're actually trading or not, whether it's a Ponzi, whether all this stuff is irrelevant. It is irrelevant because either way, these things will not be allowed to operate, period, because they are what the government considers to be unregulated securities. But that's not the real reason, as I've already said. It's because they don't want people being financially independent. And can you imagine a bunch of Joe Schmoes like me and Kinetic Energy Mike being millionaires, being set free, being independently free, and the powers that be having to deal with a bunch of slaves who don't need them anymore? It cannot happen. It cannot be allowed to happen, and they're not going to let it happen. And that's why Bitconnect was taken out. Okay, so with that, I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to come back with what my plans are in the future in the next video. So until next time, YouTube, peace.